Since no one else seems to be, let's talk about the fur ban that the CFDA and the New York Fashion Week just announced starting from September 2026. Yep, that's right. New York Fashion Week and the CFDA announced that real fur were no longer allowed to be showed at their New York Fashion Week runway shows, which means that if you are a brand that is planning on being on the CFDA official calendar or the New York Fashion Week official calendars, you can't show any real fur in your runway shows, which means you probably won't have any real fur in your collection. And we all kind of know that if you're not on the CFDA and the New York Fashion Week official calendars, there are other fashion weeks throughout New York City, but those are the two really big ones that everybody wants to be on. They did make an exception for animal fur obtained from indigenous communities who use traditional subsistence hunting methods. I went a little bit into that in a fur video that I did when somebody asked me about my thoughts on real fur and sustainability. So I'll link that and you can go watch it. But I did think that that was interesting and at least prescient that they made that distinction. And New York Fashion Week is not the first fashion week to do this. London banned all real fur in 2023, and so have a lot of other European cities like Copenhagen, Berlin, Stockholm, Amsterdam, even Melbourne in Australia have all banned real fur from being shown at their official runway shows. And of course, if you follow me and you know me, that led me to think, if we're banning all of this real fur, what has the impact been on the use of faux fur over these last, let's say, 5 years? And so I went digging. You ready for this one? The use of faux fur globally in fashion collections has increased from $12.5 billion in 2019 to more than $25 billion in 2024. So in a span of 5 years, it has doubled. And what do we know? The percentage of petroleum plastic-based faux fur versus bio-based faux fur, 95% of it is plastic. 95% of the $25 billion worth of faux fur that is on the market today is plastic, just shedding microplastic because we all strut down the streets of our respective cities in our fluffy faux fur coats. And if that wasn't enough, these numbers are slated to increase 14 to 15% globally year over year. And if you're wondering where I got these statistics from, it's actually from a website called Cognitive Market Research, which from the best that I can discern is a third-party market research firm that prioritizes primary and secondary data analysis, market size, revenue, volume share, industry forecasts, manufacturer analysis, etc., etc. So I didn't just pull it from ChatGPT without getting some back sources. And honestly, I would say that these numbers totally correspond with what I personally have seen in stores over the last 5 years. Just an absolute influx of Sherpas and teddy coats and faux fur coats at every price range in every country at every single brand. Faux fur is really fucking unsustainable, really unsustainable. And so on brand for me, that leads me back to which is better, and when it comes to sustainability, these kinds of blanket black and white regulations that come out, I don't think move the needle in any significant direction, either in, to push the fashion industry to a more sustainable place. Yes, we should not be killing animals for their fur. We could be using vintage fur. We could be talking about how we need to prioritize bio-based materials way more than any of these publications are. I mean, I'm not really sure what the answer is here, but I just know that I don't think this is productive. All this is going to do is drastically keep increasing the amount of plastic faux fur that is used. Anyway, I'd love to know what you guys think as well. So as always, please let me know in the comments. Let's get into it. Do you think this is constructive, destructive? Does it move the needle? Does it not move the needle? Thanks for listening. Ciao from Firenze.